Tonight's story is one of the most bizarre and terrifying UFO encounters ever reported. A case so strange it became part of military files, Hollywood films, and left an entire family traumatized. Welcome to the Kelly-Hopkinsville incident, where folklore, fear, and the unknown collided under the dark canopy of the American sky. Was it a case of mistaken identity or a brush with something not of this earth? Our story begins on Sunday, August 21st, 1955, in the quiet farming community of Kelly, Kentucky, just outside the town of Hopkinsville. Inside a modest, unpainted farmhouse, two families were spending the evening together. The Suttons lived there: Elmer Lucky Sutton, his wife Vera, his mother Glennie Langford, and three of Glennie's younger children. They were joined by Lucky's friend Billy Ray Taylor, Billy Ray's wife June, and a couple of other relatives, 11 people in total, including several children. They had just returned from a trip to the carnival in Evansville, Indiana. It was a warm, ordinary summer evening, until it wasn't. At about 7 p.m., Billy Ray Taylor stepped out to the well to get a drink of water. As he tilted his head back, something caught his eye. A brilliant glowing object streaked silently across the sky. It moved low and fast, leaving behind a shimmering trail of rainbow-like colors before descending into a wooded gully behind the house. He rushed back inside and told the others, "I just saw a flying saucer land behind the trees." They laughed. They thought he was joking. But Billy Ray insisted. He was serious. Not long after, the family dog began barking wildly. Then it retreated under the house and refused to come out. Just after 8 p.m., Lucky and Billy Ray stepped outside to investigate. That's when they saw it, a figure emerging from the trees. It was small, maybe 3 feet tall, with a large, round, oversized head. The eyes were huge, glowing yellow, set wide apart on its face. Its skin appeared metallic or slick, with long arms that reached down past its knees. The creature walked, or floated, toward them, its hands raised as if in surrender. Billy raised his .22 rifle. Lucky had a shotgun. They opened fire. The creature flipped backward, then vanished into the darkness. But that was only the beginning. Over the next 4 hours, the Sutton home was under siege. Strange beings kept appearing, peering in through the windows, scratching at the roof, gliding silently across the yard. One was seen perched on the roof. When Lucky shot at it, it tumbled off. But again, no blood, no body. It simply vanished. They would shoot, but the beings would either fall and float away or retreat as if unharmed. The creatures never tried to break in, but they seemed curious, observing. Witnesses described the creatures as not quite walking, but rather floating or hovering just above the ground. They moved quickly, sometimes with unnatural fluidity, and always returned minutes after being shot at. Even more disturbingly, the Suttons said the creatures made no sound, no speaking, no cries, just silence. Inside the house, panic was setting in. Glennie Langford, the matriarch, described kneeling on the floor and praying. She would later tell investigators,
I've lived here many years and never seen or heard anything like this. I wasn't drinking. I don't allow liquor in the house. What we saw was real.
At one point, one of the creatures reached down from the roof and touched Billy Ray's hair. Another tried to peer through a window screen. The Suttons shot holes through the walls, through the screens, into the trees, but nothing stopped them. Finally, around 11 p.m., the family could take no more. They piled into 2 cars and raced to the Hopkinsville Police Department. The officers on duty described the group as genuinely terrified. Their story was wild, yes, but their fear was real. One officer later recalled,
"These weren't the type of people to make up stories. They were visibly shaken. Some of the children were crying. Something happened out there."
Police, state troopers, military police from nearby Fort Campbell, and even local reporters all responded to the Sutton farmhouse. They searched the property until nearly 2:30 in the morning. But the little men, as the press dubbed them, were gone. No tracks were found, no sign of a spaceship, just spent shell casings, shotgun damage to the home, and witnesses with consistent, chilling stories. The next day, newspapers had a field day. The Kentucky New Era splashed headlines about space goblins terrorizing a family. National outlets picked it up. The story quickly made its way to the Air Force and into the pages of Project Blue Book. The official verdict: the Suttons were likely mistaken. Some said it was great horned owls, their large eyes glowing in the dark. Others suggested mass hysteria. But the Suttons stuck to their story until the day they died. They never profited from the encounter. In fact, they grew to hate the publicity. They posted no trespassing signs, refused interviews. Some refused to even talk about it again. And yet, their descriptions never changed, not once. 11 witnesses, including children and adults. All sober, all consistent. So, was it aliens? Interdimensional visitors? A misidentification of owls in the dark? The owl speculation was first put forth by the late Joe Nickel of PsyCop, an organization based on the skeptical point of view. And that sets me off a little. I was raised in the country, so a simple country family of farmers couldn't identify a horned owl in their neck of the woods. Are you buying that? While skeptics and debunkers are a vital part of the paranormal community, exerting intellectual superiority over someone that you think is less sophisticated and intelligent than you are is not a good look. We got to do better. And as far as Project Blue Book, they claimed it was all a hoax. But ask yourself this: what was Project Blue Book tasked to do in the first place? Look it up sometime. Would a family shoot up their own home and then run to the police with a story like this? I mean, Occam's razor swings both ways. It seems quite a leap to think a bunch of owls would scare some country folks out in Kentucky. My take: these people saw something they couldn't explain. And 70 years later, we're still trying to figure it out.